can predict what populations are going to do based on their age. They influence maternity wards, they influence toys, schools, motorcycles, automobiles, houses, retirement, and then coffins. And it's very, very predictable. We know what people are going to do. Boomers retire. The void is created in their technical field. Today, a good mechanic can earn more than an attorney.
A lot of the things that we're moving towards with future manufacturing processes involve joysticks and computer screens, and that's the way the world is going. Technology is at the backbone of everything that we do.
Traditional education model is history. The age of the liberal arts education is about to give away to measurable training. Business and industry is saying to colleges, please don't send us any more art history majors.
This state is one of the most technologically advanced states in manufacturing in the nation. It has been, probably will continue to be. In the next 10 years, you are going to see more opportunity in re-entrenched manufacturing than you've ever seen in the United States, ever.
Someone who says to me, you know, I've got 5 welding positions open, but not only can I not yet fill them, but I actually could add 10 or 12 more if I had the confidence that I could fill the positions I have today.
If you ask a lot of students what they want to be, they'll name things that they know, what their parents do, things that they see in their community. One of our jobs is to help expose them to those career paths if they're interested in, but other things that might be related, that perhaps have a higher demand for those positions, that might be a better match with their interests and their skill sets.
The relationship with Aaron's in the school is so seamless now that many of the components you would see on a typical zero-turn lawnmower have actually been designed at the high school, and we're using those components in manufacturing today.
We have a 3D printer. We're actually manufacturing on site today at Stoughton High School any number of the things that Dan Aaron's talked about.
I look around the room and look at the gray hairs. You think they're going to stay up here with the snow? They're going someplace warm, because you're going to have to bring in people to replace them, and you're going to bring them in from all over the United States and probably the world.
We see people moving to different states, to different cities just out of our area. Our population growth has not risen in quite some time.
We didn't have enough babies a few years back, and I confess my wife and I had only one. We're going to have to bring people in, educate them, and then keep them.
If we can't show we have a steady supply of well-trained, well-prepared, hard-working potential employees to fill those positions, employers are going to opt to grow somewhere else.
If you take my 32 people that are on the team and look at it, there's actually 20% of those people we have recruited from out of state and got to come and move and live in Madison, Wisconsin now. The reason why I chose to stay in Madison is very quickly we found that the talent was still existing. There was the talent there.
That whole entrepreneurship spirit that we have, where you can start in your garage and eventually have 450 employees and continuing to grow. So that's Wisconsin.
Companies like Kohler or Harley-Davidson or Aaron's or any number of other companies like Epic for that matter, we're small startup companies at some point, and for some of them that's over a century ago, for some of them it's decades ago, but we need to be encouraging the companies to be formed now that are going to be those leaders in the future.
It doesn't matter what you think. The perception is what either wins or loses.
Some of the highest rated sitcoms took place in Wisconsin. Even at the time they aired, like Laverne and Shirley, they were about an era 10 or 20, 30 years before the sitcom. So a lot of folks that saw these sitcoms have this stereotype that in Wisconsin we're sort of ditzy folks that are, sort of living in an old time. We should stand for one halo of meaning, one brand, just as Great Britain has started to do, just as Michigan has started to do. If you want something done right, give it to someone from Wisconsin. Give it to someone from Wisconsin. We're going to use emotion to have people see in Wisconsin things they aspire to be, or things that they already are.
Per capita GDP contribution, every single person in this room contributes about $50,000 to our GDP, maybe even more now that it's 17 trillion. In China, the average contribution to GDP is about $5,000. We have not been at China's level since the Civil War. And we're thinking they're going to take over the world and dictate economic policy for everyone? What?
We need to know where you want to be in 20 years, because it takes me a while to change this battleship, this aircraft carrier, and turn it to help you meet those needs.
Who's responsible for Wisconsin's economic future? This summit is our accountability measure. This is where we'll put together a to-do list. And this is where we'll come back a year from now and we'll see what we crossed off from that to-do list and what more needs to be added.
The kinds of partnerships that we have forged, this isn't just happening on the stage, this is happening day in and day out, and I'll tell you it's a change, and it's a change for the better.